Abby.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta be. I gotta be.
Um,
The whole business is run off technology. All
um,
right, wonderful. So we're live on YouTube. Hello to our YouTube family. Oh, look at Lydell. All right, Lydell. Eh.
what's going on?
What is up, fam? Look, you always be decked out, okay? Like you never feel. I know, honestly, like Dale, I think that you really be like putting on your Sunday dress to come up here and Zoom. Like for real.
Can't be slacking. I gotta come in right.
I
Correct.
know, I know. I hope that everyone's good. So welcome to another masterclass hosted by 7 Ways to Wealth. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see everybody here in the building. So we got a wonderful masterclass scheduled for you today. So let me go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. So our guest speaker is Manal Alansi, and she is the founder of the Diaspora District. She is also an attorney. She is an organizational and leadership development expert, you guys. Okay. When I tell you she is the top of the top in her industry, you know I only bring you the industry best. Okay. And I'm just super excited to invite her here because today she's going to teach you how to position yourself for power. Okay. So you need to become that global thought leader in your industry. And Manal has the gems to teach you how to do that. Okay. She's teaching me. So I told her, you need to come into the building and teach my community too. So she agreed to do this master class. So I want to go ahead and introduce you to her. So Manal, thank you so much for coming on, agreeing to spend your precious time to educate the community on such vital information. So you have the floor, Manal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And can I just share my screen? Will they still be able to see me if I
Oh,
share it?
yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Let me see if you're the co-host here. Okay, I just made you co-host. You're good to go with sharing your screen.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. My name is Manal Alansi. Again, I'm really
Hello,
excited to
hello.
be here. Greetings.
Greetings, greetings. Hey, Christina.
Hi, how are
Hey.
you? Okay, Alexis.
Let
Hey,
me
hey.
jump
Hi,
right in.
everybody.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Manal.
Nice to meet you. So I really appreciate you all welcoming me into your space and being here to talk about different ways to elevate. Yeah, she mentioned I'm an attorney. I'm an expert in organizational leadership development, usually hired to support different executives in honing their vision, their execution in their different organizations, both public and private sector. And I'm the founder of Diaspora District, which I'll tell you about a little bit later. But I'm very passionate about education and community development. So anytime I have the opportunity to come into these spaces and work as a collective to see what we can do for us, I'm always here. So thank you for having me. Let me share my screen. Give me a moment, please. Uh-oh, give me 1 second. All right. Is everyone able to hear me, see me?
Yes.
We hear you. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, wonderful. Today we are discussing ways to position for power and become global thought leaders in your industry. This isn't going to be a talk about changing your product or your services or anything like that. It's just talking about positioning you and shifting your position into one that is understood for your expertise and shaping the future of your industry. So please stay engaged. I need you to have your Twitter fingers ready, okay? Drop emojis in the chat, drop comments in the chat, unmute and share if you're comfortable doing so that you all are also directing this discussion. And just as much as I hope for you to take a gem or two from me, I know you all are going to be giving gems to each other. It's a great opportunity to learn from the expertise and brilliance in the room as well. So let's get started. Let's drop your industry in the chat. In which industry is your company or organization? All right, see finance, cosmetics, investments, trust, IT, real estate. Oh, it's really diverse in here. We got tax, some more real estate. Okay. All right, we have cross industries. That's really good. Consulting. All right, we have people in the medical field. Event planning space. This is going to be good. All right, keep dropping your industries in the chat if you haven't already, just because it's also good for your visibility, so other people in here know who's who. Switch slides here. Okay. So this session, oh, oops, I didn't mean to block the camera, excuse me. This session is more about understanding the power of perception and the power of deprivatizing your brilliance, your expertise, and what you do. It's not just about business strategy. So I just want to preface it by saying that the goal is, I was going to say I'm hoping, but let's just set a goal together, that you're going to leave here understanding what separates a successful business owner from a global thought leader, and how aligning with education, policy, and partnerships across industries are going to position you for both influence and legacy. But first, we want to talk about why. If you don't understand the why, none of it is relevant, right? So let's define the difference. A business owner builds something valuable. Can we agree on that in a nutshell? If we were to define what you all do, you're providing a product or a service that is of some value. But an industry expert gets invited to shape the conversation, and they get to decide what is valuable. So before you get to produce a valuable thing, there are people in industry shaping what is valuable. And that is the difference, I would say, between a business owner and an industry thought leader and expert. They influence funding, policies, and visibility, not just revenue. So drop in the chat if you've ever heard that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. Have you all ever heard that? There was a study that was released, takes 10,000 hours. Okay. So that might be true, right? To build a certain level of skill set and expertise, but being recognized as an expert, it takes more than that. It takes positioning. It takes having social proof of your impact. And it takes being in the right rooms. So people understand where you started, where you got your organization to, and what the greater impact is. Before understanding that, people are not going to look to you for answers to the industry at large or to their company. So in short, you can build expertise in silence, or you can build your leadership strategically. And frankly, leadership takes strategy. You can't just, you have to deprivatize what you're doing. Oh, actually, before I move forward. Oh, give me 1 second. Oh no, I wanted to go back. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. So which of these make the biggest difference for you right now? Can you drop a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is it credibility would serve you right now, would make the biggest difference in your organization, in your company right now? Is it speaking gigs, strategic partnerships, institutional clients, global reach? I see global reach. I see strategic partnerships, speaking gigs and global reach, institutional clients, credibility, absolutely. So to be able to do so, you have to understand that whether you're in tech, real estate, earlier I saw some people saying that they are in the cosmetology business or finance. Education, policy, and structural relationships and partnerships are going to be what's shaping your business. And that's whether you realize it or not. So it's good that we kind of bring it to your attention now if it's something that you haven't been thinking about. I'll give you some examples. So with tech entrepreneurs, AI literacy is literally being built into academic curriculum right now. What does that do? That actually shapes your future workforce. It also is a good point and predictor for what's going to happen in your industry moving forward. So if you're completely blind to what's happening in education and AI, and you're in tech, you might be blindsided. You won't, at least at the very least, it's safe to say you won't be ahead of the curve. I saw people in the chat saying they were in real estate. So I'm pretty sure you already agree. School rankings, I mean, they directly impact property values and the buying trends. I'll give you another example for fashion and industry. Identity and representation is actually influencing the beauty industry and the fashion industry, and what people view as valuable, view as beautiful, and that's going to directly impact your brand and your customer base. So let me pose this question. What's one system level change? It could be education, funding, regulations, something else that's on your mind right now that impacted your work in the last few years. If you don't mind unmuting and sharing, if anyone's willing to share that out loud, please do. If you prefer the chat, please do. AI has been a big one for a lot of folks.
I can't answer that question. I've been retired since 2022, so no work for me last year.
Sometimes it's not about work too. Sometimes different regulations and industries can impact your assets or your ability to protect your assets. I see education, AI, regulation, funding.
Um, I was going to mention something. Dr. Neil Jacob. Sorry, I'm in the car. Park, I'm safe. Um, but one big change has been telehealth since COVID. So it's actually like globalized our industry and allowed us to go, serve people that are in remote areas that otherwise wouldn't have access.
So I really appreciate your example. So when I was working for a school district, it was during COVID. And I think that's an example which will lend to the point about strategic partnerships, because industry changes in healthcare, in community, in housing, in educational curriculum and funding, especially in mental, emotional, and physical health and wellness in the education systems, they all impact each other. If something happens in one industry, there's a trickle effect in a lot of ways people forget to think structurally and about the whole ecosystem. So that was a great example. Thank you. All right, so just to wrap that up, education systems are investing in leadership, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and positioning your expertise, especially with someone at an intersection like telehealth, for example. It builds trust and opens funding and influence pathways. you would be someone I would have called as an executive in an education system to find solutions to the crises that we were experiencing at that time. And you have greater visibility, and you're more likely to be the one that not only is called, but is trusted at that time if you position yourself as such. Another way to transition from business owner to a thought leader is aligning with policy priorities. So policy shapes who gets funded, who gets invited in, and what actually gets scaled. And in this group of entrepreneurs, understanding who gets to influence the policy of the politicians is important. Entrepreneurs who understand policy don't just respond to the ever-changing world, they put a step forward to be able to shape what the next steps are. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. So there was a local real estate firm, and they wanted to build an internship program, or they actually they launched it on their own. They started becoming more aware of what the political priorities were and what the city was trying to do at that time through their own initiatives. They aligned it to Mayor Dickens' priorities for youth employment, and in turn, they were funded to run the business they were going to run regardless through government support and funding. And they got that from staying abreast with what the political priorities were at that time. Oops, before I go there, give me 1 second, please. Skip too far ahead. All right. So which of these policy areas could actually, excuse me, I keep blocking that. Which of these policy areas could your business align with? Youth workforce development, affordable housing, small business support, mental health access, public safety. If it doesn't come to you right away, take a moment to reflect on it. There's a business that you've already created that actually would solve social and public interests in various areas. You said all of them. See, that's why you get to be retired. Is anyone willing to share how their company, their organization connects to one of these five? Give us some examples.
Well, I'm putting together an organization that's going to be working with the youth and bringing the knowledge to them about a lot of things that we have not shared with them. Such as what Christina is teaching us, the trust funds, the whole life insurance, um, the reasons that in our communities, we're duplicating so many things that are hurting us, and we're not duplicating one of the things that helped us and our ancestors back in the day, like Wall Street. And I'm like, why are we duplicating all these things that's, just tearing our communities apart? But the one thing that really helped us and helped us be independent of the government, made us self-sufficient, and we're not duplicating that. So I'm putting together an organization that's going to do that.
Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Charlisha. I believe in building a legacy. And with everything that is going on right now, we are going to have to be a resource in our community. So, youth workforce development is going to be one of the things that I will be focusing on. Um, as I mean, I was taught young because my father's side of the family had businesses, but some youth are not taught about entrepreneurship. They're not taught about credit. Most of our grandparents and great grandparents screamed always have a will, right? When the will is not in a trust, we could still end up in probate, and I see it all the time when I go to the courthouse. So that's something that we need to educate our youth on and prepare them and let educate them on understanding how credit works, right? Small business support. A lot of times when people start a business, they don't know the foundation. And if their credit is not where it needs to be, whether they don't have a credit at all, they have a thin credit, or they have bad credit, a lot of people don't know you still can, there's still grant opportunities, there's still government contracting opportunities. The foundation is the key. And so that is something that we need help with. Mental health access is definitely something that we need help with since the beginning of time, um, so that our people don't act on emotions. And so we need help in our community with that, because mental health is very important um when it comes to business and life itself. Because I mean, when we were coming up, um the way they chastised us was different than they do now, even though we was okay with it. But it's like the children now, like they can't handle it, and you have to deal with stuff in a different way. So mental health is very important, because even as business owners, people owing taxes or dealing with traumas that happened in the past, some people get to a stage where they give up, they want to commit suicide. And so we need to come together, like he said, like Black Wall Street, come together like communities like they did in those times. Martin Luther King era, where the community raised the children and supported each other, and they was there. And so we're in a space where we have to come up with a plan to have health access to healthcare, because if not, a lot of people are not going to have access to healthcare, and that's going to cause more illnesses, more deaths. We have to come to a fact where we keep our dollars multiplying in our own communities and supporting each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I really appreciate is the ways in which you all are utilizing your businesses to solve public challenges, whether locally or globally. Becoming a thought leader in this space is because you are thinking of people as a collective and you're wanting to lead a way for folks, right? I recently was in DC presenting to a group of educational leaders, and I posed the question, what's a leader if no one's inspired to follow? Where are you taking these people? Where are you guiding people to? And the
Right.
intentionality behind, the way you all are thinking of your businesses and what the scale of your impact is and who's going to benefit, that's exactly the way you move from a mere lead of a business owner, to
Mm-hmm.
a thought leader, an expert in this area that people want to look to and follow because they're inspired to do so. You're not forcing it on them.
Right. Well, a lot of people don't know that a leader just doesn't monetize for themselves or grows. A leader is someone who helps those under them scale and grow and meet their goals. And so that's why, I mean, I learned that from the insurance industry, so I'm familiar with Dividend Whole Life and all that stuff. But I worked in agencies where we would go to an event, they be all hyped up, and they have like a little pyramid thing going on because they want to get all these people under them, but they're not no real leader. They're a field person. And so then a lot of people get left behind, because and then they get, like you said, get forced into trying to be a leader when they don't have the knowledge, the credentials, the mindset, right? And so now you have these people, they think they're leaders because they have a big team, but your team is not growing, your team is not making no money, you're the only one making money, you're not a leader. And it's sad, and I feel like when they do that, they should teach what leadership is.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset. mindset, leadership. I read a lot of books when I was in the insurance industry, and it's like people just get in it and it's about the money. It has to be more than about the money. Just like you're asking these questions because it's deeper than why do I want to do this business? Why do I want to make I want to make money, but why? Right? What is that money going to do for you? What is it going to do for your community? What is it going to do for your family? And people don't get that dynamics of that.
Mhm. Absolutely. You'd be surprised how many executive coaching sessions I'm in where I have to really hone in on the difference between a manager and a systems leader. Because while people are excellent in that sort of middle management place and are highly effective, if they don't have the proper leadership development, as you pointed out, before they're promoted, you're setting them up for failure. They're two completely different things.
Yeah,
What
because some jobs promote because they've been there, they know they know the information, but they don't have the leadership skills.
Yeah, it's a different muscle for sure.
Mhm.
Is there anyone else that would like to share about your business or where your business could solve a public challenge, whether locally or globally? Earl?
Yes, thank you. Um, I was saying the affordable housing. Um, there was a story that was very relatable that Christina told yesterday. About just different challenges that we have when we come from those type of environments, and they got that saying, there's no place like home. But when your home is really not a home, everything is kind of thrown off in your life. Some people, they have a better experience at school than they have at home. Some people have a better experience at their jobs than they have at home. And I think that if we can straighten out the home, we can actually straighten out our communities. And if we straighten out our communities, we can make a bigger impact on our people. So I probably would just say, like, create stable living conditions. I would like to like retrain our youth on what an asset really is. Like, I think that they fell for the cars and the money being held up to your ear like a phone, and different things like that, and they're missing the whole point. And get them to like actually partner with people that have good households, and how not to just have a house, but how to actually maintain and keep a house, like property management, and understanding what it takes to pay bills. And that can kind of expand to like community development, economic growth, and just a bunch of other policies and programs that could be made to help out, just to reshape the minds.
Absolutely, I love that. In Seattle, I led a junior version of my leadership development series that I do with executives. We made it developmentally appropriate, age appropriate, and we offered it to high schoolers. And we called it Life Institute. L standard for leadership, I standard for intergenerational culture, F was financial literacy, and E was entrepreneurship. And what was so beautiful about it is with the intergenerational culture, we actually brought in elders from the community to teach from their cultural community and lived experiences. And so while a lot of this can be shared in academic spaces, I think it's really beautiful when those of us who have already learned it technically and also reinforced it through lived experiences can go to youth and young adults in our own community and share that information and share it in a way that would make sense to them. And through life experiences. I see in the chat, Derek, you were talking about growing your own food. I was just in Ghana where there are just some amazing, amazing farmers and business people in the agricultural space who are working to pass down their indigenous knowledge. So not through the textbook, but through their understanding of the earth already and understanding of agriculture and the cultivation of produce and, you know, plants, food, all the things. And so they're passing that knowledge down as well. So I think that's amazing. Thank you all for sharing. That I'll share that you can begin building yourself as a thought leader in your industry versus an owner of another business is forming cross-sector partnerships and developing talent. So it was actually the perfect segue. And I do want you to consider locally or globally, because if you want to push to become a global thought leader where you too can learn from the wealth of knowledge around the world and also offer your expertise globally, you have to start thinking outside of your zip code. And that's essentially because thought leaders don't operate in isolation, as we pretty much have discussed. They work in an ecosystem. So if your work lives in one lane, you're actually limiting your influence just to your customers. But when your business contributes to education spaces, workforce, public health outcomes, as was noted earlier with the telehealth, your name begins to get circulated in rooms. And your name is reaching different places and people far beyond your niche. So consider with cross-sector partnerships that they actually help you scale your trust and your visibility. This is an important note because oftentimes we will go to themed networking events. So if you're in education, we'll go to an education event. If you're in law, we'll go to the legal gala or this bar association's gala. We stay in our ecosystem, but the visibility actually comes from being not the big fish in the small pond, but like the odd fish out, you know? So that in itself gives you heightened visibility. The fact that you may be in a space that isn't your echo chamber. And when it comes to investing in talent, whether that's interns, again, from your local college or hiring designers in Ghana, that shows that you are future focused and that you're building the future of your field and not just profiting in the present time. Because the truth is, business owners outsource tasks. So you find there's literally the app TaskRabbits, right? It's kind of like that. So business owners typically, if they go abroad or if they do go global, it's just for more affordable labor. But industry leaders, they're actually going abroad to cultivate pipelines. They are going out in their community, not just to secure customers, but to scout future talent in their community. Who can I develop? What can I cultivate here or there? So think about it like that, because one makes you efficient, but the other one makes you essential. And a thought leader, an expert is essential. All right. So hold on to that. That sort of understanding that relationship is going to be what shifts you from a business owner to a system builder. And that's going to be what gets you ultimately recognized as a thought leader. As was mentioned earlier, I didn't catch the name of the person that was commenting. Oh, I think it was Charlisha, actually. I hope I'm saying your name right.
Oh, you did an amazing job saying my name.
Okay.
People always be messing it up, but you did
No,
it
it's right
perfect.
there.
Scar. They be like, Scar. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And that's why education and literacy is essential. No, I'm joking. That was shady. But no, I don't think you have our name at all. I think people should be able to read your name. All right. But yeah, to your point, that's going to be what gets you recognized as a thought leader. One thing you could start doing today to evolve from business owner to industry leader, if that's something that you aspire to be in expanding your impact and your influence, is start tracking where your industry intersects with other industries.
You sit there and let the TV do your thing.
I think, Christina.
Mute yourself, please.
Listen.
Or I thought it was Christina. Okay, I was like, Christina. It's not Christina. Okay, it's just iPhone. So, yeah, take a moment. This is something literally you can start doing today. Do a reflection, build your structural analysis, which means beyond your system, what are the other systems that if they change something in their system, it impacts your work, your community, your customers. Okay, who is shaping customers' decisions? So think about that. Is it schools? Is it social media? Is it legislation? Is it real estate? Identify 3 and then reach out and partner with them. Reach out to find your intersection in ways that you can stay in better communication with each other. So you both, it's a quid pro quo. They get to understand what's happening in your realm. You get to understand what's happening in their realm. And then you'll start to explore and find points to partner and not just promote. So I'll give you a couple examples.
I was going to ask you, can you repeat that? You said reach out to 3 sectors.
Yeah. So identify your business and 3 sectors that you connect with. A way to think about it is what system that if they were to make changes would impact you, your community, your customers' decision making. Start relationship building there. A lot of times credibility is built through these relationships over time, and then it's just scaled and amplified when they understand your expertise, when they understand that you're a reliable voice, that you make informed decisions, that you make data-based decisions. So they can look to you for information on how your industry intersects. And if you contact and start trying to make relationships in these areas that intersect with your industry, you will soon find that you identify points of partnership. So now you can partner with them on something, and you'll maximize your impact because you're not working in a silo. And you're doing more than promotion. You're actually partnering for a greater social impact. So an example that I have is a mental health tech founder. They actually, so their goal was to launch an app. They're a tech founder, they wanted to launch an app. It was related to mental health. What did they do? They connected to a university's psychology department and a public health nonprofit. They connected across different sectors from tech to healthcare, and then the philanthropic nonprofit to scale their expertise, which also lended them expertise because now they are in that sort of ecosystem with people who specialize in a particular area. So by the time they launched the app, it wasn't a simple launch. By that point, they have co-led programming with these different organizations. They were featured in white papers alongside these renowned and established experts, and they became recognized as a prominent voice and thought leader in the mental health ecosystem at large. And they were app developers in tech. All right, so just think about that. They weren't just a startup anymore. They were thought leaders. They were thought partners to these experts, which lent them credibility. So now when people are looking for mental health solutions, all of a sudden they're calling this tech company because they have established their credibility. Another example was, it's a US-based creative agency. They were hiring designers in Ghana. And initially, the goal was to supplement their overflow. Because they didn't stop there, and they actually had a capacity development branch where they started a mentorship program. They actually followed their mentees, featured them in their stories and their campaigns, and highlighted that it wasn't just about hiring, it was about building capacity in this industry to do X, Y, and Z. Their hub actually emerged as a focal point for emergent global talent. So now people are not looking to them as some clothing designers that they can buy some nice and fashionable pieces from. They're looking at them as global thought leaders and industry experts that are shaping how capacity is developed in their industry. All right, so these are some things to consider. With these examples, as you can see, clients in the public and their community at large, stop seeing them as just a vendor or just a company. They started seeing them as an institution, an expert that they could turn to find answers and questions and answer their questions and all of that. So take a moment. What sector outside of your own serves your audience? Again, it could be education, public health. What other industry most closely impacts and influences your audience for your business? See, education.
So when you say political sector, are you referring to like the chambers, the local chambers, um, the
Any
mayor, the
political position.
governor? Okay.
Yeah, so it could be a mayoral initiative, it could be a government, it could be right now with all the funding cuts that have happened for DEI in the public sector, some of those decisions, are impacting your customers directly. It can be, yeah, so across the board. It can also, another way that I tend to think about politics is who has community power. So it's political, it might not be a political institution. So if you have an organization or a group that holds a lot of community power, whether it's for or against what you're trying to achieve, they may be people you need to start relationship building and building some sort of credibility with so you can actually reach your desired outcomes. Whether it's to work with them or get them out of your way, frankly, but that's another lesson. We'll talk about that another time. Okay, I see education, HUD, cybersecurity, financial. Okay. Okay. So this is how the shift happens, as we can see. When you build across these different sectors and borders, you're no longer just delivering a product, you are going to be shifting the future. And that's going to be what sets you apart from the rest. And that's how people are going to start actually seeing you as not just a brilliant person that is great at this one thing, but a brilliant person that they should be seeking knowledge and information and guidance and partnerships from. All right, so take a moment for personal reflection. This is just for you. You don't have to share out. Where could collaboration locally or globally expand your reach or build your brand's legacy? If you'd like to share aloud, you can, but if this is a note to self, you can keep it as such.
Can you repeat that?
Sure. Where could collaboration, either locally or globally, expand your reach or build your brand's legacy? What types of collaborations would expand your impact?
I would say political. Like you said, people that got power in the community. Uh, radio ads, billboards, reaching on a national level, and partnering with companies that you align with that have the same vision, that
Mhm.
can add value to what you're trying to do, because when you're building, you can't do everything. So you have to partner with somebody, because you'll get burnt out. So partner with people in your community, with local chambers, um, chambers in other states, where you can basically, offspring, or do a foreign entity where you could basically offspring what you're doing in your current community to other communities to expand. And then, I mean, even on international level.
Absolutely. So I want to highlight one thing Charlicia just said, and write the word alignment in your notes. Because I gave 3 examples. While there are more, for the sake of time, I gave you 3. The 3 ways you can start transitioning is, despite what industry you're in, you align to education, you align to different political initiatives and priorities, you align to cross-sector leaders and their initiatives, as well as the capacity development needs, where you can align with an emerging workforce. So think of that alignment. It's aligning yourself. You are doing something, and what you're doing is leading to an outcome. Who else has an interest in this outcome? That's a great step 1 in looking for who your cross-sector partnership should be. Thank you. Drop alignment in the chat.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Charlicia. Okay. So, oh, is that my time? Oh, okay. Well, I sincerely appreciate all of you for having me here and allowing me to be in your space to learn together, learn from each other, and just have a few tangible takeaways to reflect on. Because what you all have done for yourselves and your families and your communities is not average. So you already have the capacity to scale. You already have the capacity to have a greater impact. But the question is, are you positioned to do so? All right. So think about that. Keep your mind on positioning. I want to also end this with a cordial invitation to get you into some rooms that we discussed. All right. So Diaspora District is holding a global education conference and a homecoming tour in Accra, Ghana, December 13th to the 20th, 2025. This is completely different than any education conference I've ever been in over the last decade, and I've been in education for quite some time, okay? We are making a point to hold a cross-industry conference for global education, because when we work in silos, we can impact practices and leadership capacity development. So it's still very valuable, and educational spaces are ones where you learn of the latest research and what's working in other schools. It's very valuable. But what we can't do is change a system in a silo. All right. So we're bringing in experts and leaders from tech, from real estate, from finance, from oil and gas, from obviously education, from the legal field, to come together to talk about what skills and knowledge gaps need to be embedded in our education system to produce different outcomes. And so students, whether K through 12 or higher education, actually graduate prepared for post-graduation life and career. So it's a perfect opportunity to go global. And so I want to cordially invite you all to join. Oops, it didn't go there. Hold on 1 second. Maybe I have to move this. All right. So I'm going to tap on this. All right, so if you go to register.diasporadistrict.com, you'll have all the information you need. Pretty straightforward in what I told you about. The homecoming tour actually was birthed because I have different executives and deans coming from the West Coast, and they're saying that is a long trip for 4 days. Like, I want to come to this conference, but I'm coming from the West Coast to the West Coast of America to the West Coast of Africa. I need more. I need more. So I said, well, I'll give you more. Okay. So they're coming 4 days in advance. And I just wanted to extend the opportunity to join this. It's going to be a completely unforgettable experience. And we're going to start the tour with a rooftop dinner. We're going to be exploring arts and landmarks and culture across Ghana. We're going to do a day trip to Cape Coast, and we're going to go to the castles and the last places where enslaved Africans were before the transatlantic slave trade. We're also going to do have retreats where we can connect in community and wind down. We have professional tour opportunities for those that are interested in real estate and local investment, global investments. We're bringing experts to come and talk about that and also show us around to see what there is to offer. As I'm sure at least 50% of you have heard about the move in investments that are going into Africa, particularly Ghana. They're doing big things. So we're going to start off with that beautiful tour. We have so much planned, waterfalls, day parties, evenings out. It's a beautiful thing. And then we're going to go in after rooting ourselves in community and culture and exploring the markets and interest. We're going to go into the Global Education Conference, where we will dig in more into some of the topics we discussed today. On the first day, we'll talk about building the talent pipeline and focusing on policy, investments, and partnerships. Day 2 would be strategizing for the future. We're going to have a diaspora exchange where we have these mini presentations for us to amplify the brilliance that's already among us globally. We'll have people, experts and leaders in Africa and the diaspora going up to share their expertise on a particular topic area across industries. And then we'll have organizational and leadership development opportunities. On the third day, we will be collaborating for impact and building strategic partnerships to shape solutions. We are very outcome driven. It is not, I said it's professional learning for the pros. It might be over folks' head if they're in their first or second year in business. We're looking for people who typically go to conferences and say, oh, I mean, it was nice. I did some good networking, but I don't know if I learned something. I don't know if I really learned. This is where you're going to learn something. This is where you're going to learn something. And then on the last day, this is also where you're going to enjoy yourself. And we're going to have a Diaspora Day celebration where all of these experts and leaders across the diaspora get to connect on a personal level and actually build community with the experts and leaders across Africa that are coming to this conference. And 360 all the way around. I think this is a beautiful opportunity because it calls for more than business, but it calls for global community. On the road to Diaspora District, I've been in Africa for the last 6 months. I went from Nigeria to Ghana to Ethiopia to South Africa, and we're really building momentum in terms of the breadth of people who are going to be there. But what I learned in itself is taking the time to actually be in community with people is so much more rewarding. It not only does it lend to business and does it amplify you in your leadership and your expertise in different areas, in different rooms you normally wouldn't be in, but the amount of people that through this journey I can call when I'm in their country, or if I'm even in a neighboring country, I can give them a call and say, hey, I'm going to be there. And they'll say, oh, I'm going to meet you. You know what? I actually have that weekend off. Let's come have lunch. It's outstanding. It's outstanding, actually building global relationships and connecting us as a global community. At the bottom, this is for some of the folks who are likely more local that are already familiar with Ghana or maybe have been there 5 times already. So we also have that option. Go on your own time and you can see what the contents are for the conference. We have outstanding speakers. We have Her Excellency Ambassador Erica Bennett. So she is the head of mission at the Diaspora Africa Forum. She's from the States, has lived in Ghana, and has led in amplifying diaspora community, diaspora business, matters that that are pertinent to the diaspora community, both those born in Africa and in America, particularly with the multi-generational African American community. She's outstanding. She's definitely paved the way for a lot of us. We have Smade, who's the CEO of Afro Nation, the largest African Afrobeats festival in the world. We have, who's fondly known as KOD, also known as Kofi. He's the presidential advisor to the president of Ghana. And he will be there to speak and share his expertise on foreign investments, on global community, on real estate, the whole nine. Any opportunities you may be looking for, you know, he has the expertise. We have Miss Angela Jones, and she's the director of the Gates Foundation and also the author of the Queen Code. So please go check out her book. I just finished it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And then, of course, we have Miss Christina. I feel like you may be familiar with her. She is our financial literacy expert and the CEO of 7 Ways to Wealth. I feel like I don't have to say too much because you already know she's worth learning from and listening to. And then there's yours truly, Manal Alansi. And let me go back to my presentation. Please feel free to stay in touch with me. Again, my name is Manal Alansi. Don't miss this movement. You want to be a part of it. This is more than a conference. It's definitely a movement. On IG and Facebook, you can find us at Diaspora District. And my personal, if you want to contact me directly, LinkedIn is at Manal Alansi 1. And Instagram, which is my personal one, is Nollywood. All right. Thank you all so much for being here with me today and lending me your ear.
Woo, woo. All right. All right.
So,
Fantastic. Okay, I do have a couple things to say. And then I don't know if anybody has questions for Manal. Manal, do you have a couple minutes for Q&A?
Absolutely. I would love to, you know, hear if anything resonated. If I left you with any questions, please.
Okay. All right. So I am super excited because, as Manal mentioned, we are going to have a Ghana homecoming tour, and she is curating a beautiful experience. So she's curating a beautiful tour in the conference, and I have the pleasure of being a speaker. So we are going to Ghana. So I told her, I said, you have to let me invite my whole entire community because Ghana is a big time opportunity. There's just so much happening in Ghana. And as you guys know, I went to Nigeria last year. I spoke at a conference and I didn't have the opportunity to invite you guys. And so I told her, I said, I need my community to be there with me because they have to experience what I experienced in the continent of Africa. And so it is a life-changing, the history, the culture, even the business opportunities. So what I love that is happening here is one is the tour, right? So as she mentioned, it's a 4-day tour, and the experience that she has put together for everyone who's involved in the tour is going to be amazing. All of the spots, the what is it, like the places, right? The tourist places, the castle, you know, all of these different, what is it called? The Last Walk? Is it called the Last Walk, Manal?
The door of no return.
The door of no return, right? So there's so much that's going on and she is bringing, you know, a piece of that culture to us, or bringing us to that culture. So I absolutely am very appreciative that she said it's okay for me to invite the entire Seven Ways to Wealth community. I also really love the investment portion, right? So there's going to be a segment where we have the opportunity to look at real estate. We have realtors that are in Ghana. We have developers that are in Ghana. We know of banks that will finance in Ghana if you guys are interested in real estate. I know I'm interested in real estate. So you also want to get like more information on that. But she's cultivating this experience so that we are able to go over there and see what the business opportunities are, right? For us to expand our, you know, our capacity, right? Because a lot of us, we think that the US is the end all be all. Some of us have never even left the country. I spoke to a lady today. She's 50 years old and she just got her passport at 50 years old. And she just went to Cancun. And so I was like, yes, now now that we are in this space where we want to grow, where we want to go global, where we want to be international, like this is the opportunity for you to do it. This is also an opportunity for us to travel international. So I'm so excited because I am always going all over the world, right? I am in all of these different continents, but I've never traveled with the community before. And so I think that it is a perfect opportunity for us to be able to go abroad, and for us to even be able to, and Lydell knows this, to be able to, what's the word that he used? Hold on. Group economics, right? For us to be able to come together if we want to purchase something in Ghana together, or if we want to start a business, or if we want to get into investments, right? So,
Cooperative.
yes, group economics. Like
Mhm.
when Abdul said that, I was like, yeah, like that's what I need to be doing with my community too. Come on, guys. Like I'm always getting into these different investments, but I never invite y'all to the investment table. And so now y'all have the opportunity. So Ghana is going to be great. And then also for those of us that are in Seven Ways to Wealth that end up going to Ghana, what we're going to do is we're going to have our own like breakout session. So we're going to have the opportunity to convene together, and we're going to be talking about the international trust. We're going to be talking about offshoring. We're going to be talking about investing internationally. So there's so much stuff that we get to do collectively as a community while we're out there in Ghana. So it's going to be fantastic. And then the conference piece is like phenomenal. Like the speakers that she spoke about, they are heavily influential. And so I can't wait to attend the conference. And I have the pleasure of being one of the speakers. So I'm going to be, speaking from a global thought leader perspective. So I'm so glad. And I just want you guys to be there. So with that being said, I asked Manal if she could put something together for the Seven Ways to Wealth community. And so what she told me was absolutely what we'll do is we'll put the tour and the conference together. And she has offered a discount. And I said, no way. And I'm just so appreciative because a lot of the educators that I bring into the community, they're always offering like discounts so that the community has the capacity to be able to go or to participate. So she said that she would give the discount. So the price, what is the price, Manal? It's 2,000.
450.
Yeah, it's only $2,450. And she said that if you use the discount code 7W2W, Seven Ways to Wealth, right? That part, then you guys get $450 off. So it only ends up being $2,000. So just imagine being able to go on an 8-day tour in Ghana for only $2,000, right? So Once again, I will be there. Other educators in the community, they will also be there. And now the invitation is extended to all of you guys. You guys get to come and travel to Ghana with us. So with that being said, I think the link is inside of the chat. If you guys are interested, hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up the website, and then I'll let, if anybody has questions for Manal, please raise your hand. She'll be able to answer your questions. But I just want to quickly take a look real quick. Hold on one second. Let me pull up.
I also noticed, so there were a few edits that I may have sent the website editor a little late. So please excuse any typos, or I noticed a thing or two. Please excuse that.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. It's all right. Okay, so I pulled up the website really quickly. Can you see it? You guys
Yes.
can see it? Okay, awesome. All right. So you go right here to register now. And I love how she put the breakdown of each day so that you guys can know what's happening. So she's gonna provide like all the airport information, all the hotel information. You guys get discounts on those things as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and click right here on register now. All you have to do is put your information. So hold on, let me put my information real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick. Hold on one second. Let's see. There we go. All right. Let's
In the
see.
meantime, are there any questions or comments anyone has?
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me go back to Zoom. Okay. Okay. So I put my information. I just put my name, my address, and my name and my address, and now I'm on the second page. So all your information goes here, and then this is the payment. So you're going to choose the first one that says Diaspora District Homecoming Tour Plus Conference December 13th to the 20th. And then you're going to go right down here to where it says enter coupon code. You're going to put the number 7W2W, and then you're going to press apply. And then it automatically applies the discount. So it subtracts the $450 and it ends up being $2,000. And you guys could do PayPal, or you can do credit card, Cash App, Afterpay, Klarna, all of that, all of those other different payment options. Okay. So that is the website. And so if you guys have any questions, raise your hand. I'm going to take it back to Manal so that she can answer any questions that you guys have, either about the presentation or about the conference or about the tour, or whatever questions that you guys have. So you guys could come off mute. You could raise your hand. I see. Lydell, do you have a question?
Yes.
All right, go for it, boss.
It's about the trip, and
Yes, sir.
uh, I just need to know how long is the flight. I have concerns about being on planes, so I gotta get mentally prepared.
All right. Let me know if we need to catch the flight together, okay? Okay. You
It
you know
it
what?
definitely it's a flight. It depends. It's it's a flight to be had, but it depends on your airlines, your starting location, but you can maneuver around it. So like I have a relative who feels similarly. He doesn't like being on airlines too long. So he actually buys flights with more stops to give him an hour to get off, grab some coffee, and loop back around. So there are ways that you can do it, but it would definitely depend on too many variables.
Okay. I will straight through. What would it be?
I don't know where you are, but if you go to Google Flights right now, it'll show you a whole list.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Google Flights because he's in Georgia. I'm gonna
Oh,
go to
okay.
Google Flights. I'm gonna go to Google Flights right now.
Okay. Drop it in the
And
chat for him so Viola can say.
okay, I want to show you guys something real quick, okay? Because I'm just so excited. Okay, let me know if y'all can see my screen. Can y'all
Oh,
see
we
my
have a
screen?
travel agent.
Can y'all
Oh,
can y'all see my screen?
yes.
Okay, do you know who that is? Do y'all know who this is? It's real quiet in here. Are y'all at work or y'all driving or y'all cooking
I
dinner?
mean, that's him.
Yes, it's Jeanette.
This is lie down.
Yes.
Me and him was chopping it up last weekend.
You gotta be blushing over here.
You see, he was in all blue. Now he's in all purple. I can't keep up.
Gotta keep the royal colors going.
L. Jackson. I was just that's Hollywood.
Huh? I can't. Oh, hold on. Miss Kamala's here too. Hold on.
Don't do that, Princess Christina. Come on, I was yapping my
Hold
mouth.
on, hold on.
No.
Hold on. Hold on.
No,
1 second.
no. I'm not
Yes.
good.
Okay,
Oh,
hold on
my
1 second. Just
goodness.
give me 2 seconds. Just give me 2
No,
seconds
no.
here.
Don't show that
I am
one.
I am so excited.
Oh, my
Listen,
goodness.
when I tell you I'm excited, okay? Hold on. All right, there we go. Who is that, you guys?
Gorgeous. There she
Thank
is.
you. That's me and Miss
My
Kamala.
goodness. Yes. It was amazing.
Picture,
It was an amazing trip to Atlanta. It was.
Yes.
picture.
Listen, we was hanging out last weekend learning about mobile homes,
Yep.
real estate investing, and cash flowing for our trust. This is what I mean. Like, we are a community. We need to come together. We need to meet in person. We need to do group economics. We need to put our money together and invest and get more property so that our trust can cash flow. So I'm so excited. Look at how
Yes.
beautiful Kamala is.
No,
Yes.
you're the beautiful one.
Yes, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I think that it will be a fantastic opportunity for us to travel internationally together. So if you guys are able to make it, I would really love that. One thing that I forgot to mention is that Manal is she is making a payment plan available too. So if you guys want to go ahead and break it up into, I think she said 4 payments for $5.99. So if you want to break it up, then you can break it up as well. And then you'll just be paid in full before December. So that is also an option as well for those of you guys that know that you want to definitely come to Ghana. So I'm gonna look up the Google flights so that those of us who are coming from Georgia, we can know how long that flight is, because I know me and Lydell coming from Georgia.
Look up Delta too, because it starting December 1st, I believe, Delta is starting direct flights from Atlanta straight to Ghana with no stop in DC.
Okay, so hold on. So my assistant, she put it inside of the chat. She said it is, let me see, where did she put it? I don't see it here. I do not see it. What are they asking about vaccinations? Fever vaccine? Oh, is that you? Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there's a screenshot here. What is it? I can barely see it. Oh, 10, what does it say? 10 hours and 30 minutes nonstop from Delta. That's not bad. 10 hours is not bad. I think my flight to Nigeria was longer.
Oh, it was.
Wow.
For sure. Okay, so what you think about that? What do you think about the 10 hours and 30 minutes?
Probably gonna have to take a gummy.
Right. You're gonna take a gummy, some Benadryl, some Alka-Seltzer Plus, whatever you need to take, Tylenol,
Everything.
whatever everything, right, Ms. Thomas? Everything, whatever it is that you need to take, like Dale, you go ahead and take it, okay? I think I'm gonna take a Benadryl.
I actually do that. I stay awake the day before. I stay awake the day before. And when I get on my flight, all like, even when Christina and I went to Nigeria, I left Atlanta. It's an 11.5 hour flight. I woke up 9 hours later. I only had a 2 hour flight. I watched the movie and then I was in Nigeria.
Wow.
So just, plan your sleep.
That is such a good idea.
I know
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Christina,
Yes,
can we
ma'am.
can we write that off as a business trip?
Of course. You want to
Okay.
know why? Because you're attending a conference. That's a business event. And two,
Yes,
you're going to be
ma'am.
exactly, you're going to be looking at real estate, which is an investment for your business. It's a 100% write-off.
Right
That's
off.
all we do
It's
here
all
every
about
single
your,
time.
what was your
Okay.
intentions for the trip? Your intentions for the trip was business. You're going to a conference, you're spending more than 25% doing business activities. So your flight,
Okay.
your
Okay.
hotel, and the event is a tax write-off.
And
Yes.
here's
Yes.
the thing, right?
I
There
love it.
are great opportunities for, like how I was mentioning, personal connection, but a beautiful part of going back to Africa and being in that realm is you'll see that even those of us that are raised in the States, the core of our culture, it like we bring joy and relationship and connection to business. So yeah, we're gonna be joyful. Yeah, we're gonna break bread. Yeah, we're gonna crack jokes, and we're gonna get to business as we do.
Absolutely.
Nice, nice,
And
nice.
so for those of you guys that are going to be using your trust, just know that once you get to Ghana, you need to have a board meeting, okay? So as long as you have a board meeting and you just describe what type of business activities you did while you were there, you have, documentation so that you can write it off. So that's a good thing. That was such a good question, Miss Kamala.
Was just wondering.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. What other questions do we have?
I was going to say, even if you're not using your trust, if you have a business, do what she said, a board meeting.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that.
And if you all would like, because we're still planning on where each part of the conference will be within the venue. So Christine, I'll stay in touch with you. If you would like a place for Seven Ways to Wealth, like an actual board meeting, breakout session, affiliated with these different companies. If you want a space for Seven Ways to Wealth so you all can invest in yourselves or utilize that time in some way, please let me know.
Absolutely. Yes, we're definitely going to have our own dedicated time and space so that we as a community can talk about, collectively about the international trust. Offshoring, we're going to be talking about what that looks like to start investing globally, right? What it looks like to have like a Swiss bank account and for us to, even have different currencies, right? So there's so much, and it's not like I just keep saying it. I'm not going to not say it. So the United States of America is not the end all be all. Okay, so you have to diversify your portfolio. You have to diversify your business ventures. You have to also look at the opportunities like Africa is a blank canvas, okay? The entire continent, right? And so there are so many opportunities there. Just think about Africa being like the USA 100 years ago, right? Look at what the USA is now. And so you can go to that continent and you can start developing and you can start bringing different business ventures that we have here. They don't have it over there. So you can start a business over there. So like I said, it's a blank canvas. There's so much opportunity and you just have to take the leap of faith to get more information, to get connected with people like Manal that are doing big things in Africa. Okay. And I've already started. So I've been to Egypt looking at real estate, speaking at conferences in Nigeria, and now I have the opportunity to go to Ghana. Okay, and so I want to bring you guys along. I don't want you to be left behind, okay? Because if you really look on the internet, there's a lot of influential people that are moving there. They're moving to Tanzania, to Zanzibar, to all of these places, South Africa. Why? Kenya, all of these places, Ghana. Why? There's a reason. And you have to find out what that reason, and you're going to find out in the conference, in the Diaspora District. Trust me.
I got a quick question. Hey, beautiful people.
Hi, beautiful Aset.
Hey, gorgeous.
How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Good, good, good.
Okay, so all right, so Trump has been putting stopping people from coming to Africa. How does that work? Okay, when it comes to, I know they're saying that I guess people who are there, who live there, can't come back. But if you happen to get like a residency, would that be some sort of interruption with Trump saying you can't come back to America? Or you have issues coming back to America? Would that be a problem?
I haven't looked into what his new policies say about residency, but if you're a United States citizen, you're born here, it doesn't apply to you.
Okay.
Well, not that the residency doesn't, but the inability to come back to your country, it doesn't apply.
Right. I was just hoping that there wasn't some sort of weird stipulation. If you become a resident over there, would there be an interruption with?
I mean, I know, Christina, you were just talking quickly and you didn't mean to generalize. What I will forewarn you is not everywhere in Africa is underdeveloped in that way. While there's just a huge potential to build and scale. Like, don't get mad at me if all of you want to move there, because God is amazing.
Oh, I want to move.
I already know. When we started asking about residency, I was like, okay, she's already seen some things. Not Atlanta, Accra. I always say it's the Atlanta of Africa. It is such an addicting place to be.
I follow
So
that.
I'm so excited to hear what you say when you come back.
Listen, if you get stuck, you only pay rent once a year and you'll be all right.
Yeah, I love that.
Eesh.
I love that. Miss Sonia, you coming?
I'm working on it.
All right, beautiful.
Thank you
Yeah.
all again for letting me be in your community today. And I look forward to meeting you all and joining your community in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Yes, Esquire.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank
It was a
you for being
blessing.
here. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Christina, are you sending us the replay to this?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the replay. I'm gonna send you the link for you guys to sign up if you're ready to go to Ghana. There are payment plan options available, and if you need something custom, just reach out to me and I'll reach out to Manal and her team so that they can customize something for you. And what else? I think that's
Please,
it.
I mean, I think it goes without saying, but please don't share that link publicly. That is a special link because Christina is my girl and I support everything that she does. And I just really respect and admire what you all are doing in this community, and I want you to be there. But if you don't mind, let's keep it in the 7 Ways to Wealth community for the discount code.
Thank you.
comprehending.
All right, guys. So you guys have an amazing evening. Happy 4th of July, and have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. So next week we have a workshop.
Christina,
You're
and happy 4th
welcome.
of July. Happy 4th of
Yay.
July.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, happy 4th
Bye.
of July to you guys too. And then we do have a workshop next week. So if you guys are in the workshop, I will see you Monday, 11 to 2.
And explain my license.
Have a good plan.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Hopefully I could join either one.